Hi guys, welcome to Soma Sutra. I want to talk today about the tricky subject of a Kundalini Awakening and some of the things that can arise from it. Now, in most cases, when you have a Kundalini Awakening, it's, it can be a pretty, traumatic experience because a lot of things start happening in your body. So I'm just going to tell you a bit about my background. I'm a Tantric journey emotional detox therapist, so I do body work. So I do deep Tantric massage, Kundalini breath work, and Teo body work all at the same time. And we get really, really deep into trauma release. And it's really normal during the trauma release phase for the body to judder and move, and this is completely normal. And what normally happens is once this cycle has finished, the client comes back to normal and pretty much stays normal, and we don't get any reoccurrences of that until we go back into the treatment again. I'm also a Soma breathwork instructor, and it's quite common during the breath retention phase where the breath is all the way out, and sometimes when the breath is all the way in, that we can go into trauma release then, because we're moving sexual energy. This is what's happening. We're creating this powerhouse of Kundalini energy at the base of the spine, which expands. It gets big enough that it pushes this chi energy up the spine, and we get this huge release. And that's the aim of the game. But sometimes what happens is people go into a spontaneous Kundalini awakening for no apparent reason. So when this happens, it can be really quite traumatic, and the tremors seem to be for some people huge, and they can't switch them off. So I had the pleasure of reaching out to somebody actually yesterday who'd gone into a Kundalini awakening 2 years ago, and the poor guy, he's shaking, he's really having a lot of tremors. For 2 years, it's really ruined this guy's life. So I actually reached out to him and said, I just want to teach you some simple techniques. And we had some pretty good results. So this is what I want to talk about. So when we're trying to stimulate Kundalini energy, we would be working with breath work and breath retention and breath fully in and pulling in the Mula Bandha, which is the muscles at the base of your spine that hold in your urine, and that you can tense around your sphincter, and we push this energy all the way up our spine to our third eye. That's great. So in an ideal world, that's amazing. So, but when you've gone into a spontaneous awakening and these things are troubling you, we actually want to rewind it the other way. So to stop a Kundalini awakening, or stop these tremors when this energy is just constantly moving, the thing you need to do is hold your breath. It's the other way. So we take a full breath in and hold our breath. Look, you can lock it in. You can actually drop your chin and lock it in for 20 seconds, and then you can just breathe fully out, and then be back in stillness in your body and see what happens. If the tremors don't stop, then you need to do it again, and you can do it for a little bit longer. You could do it for 30 seconds, and then again for 40 seconds until we reach a stage where this stops. So the other thing that we can do is, one of the things that I question with this guy is, are you tensing your pelvic floor? Because it didn't make any sense, because the tremors were coming back. So, and he was involuntarily tensing his Mula Bandha, which is his pelvic floor muscles. But what this is doing is acting like a pump. So when we do this with our pelvic floor, we start to create this pump, and we're pumping sexual energy up our spine. We're creating this powerhouse of energy, and we're creating enough force that eventually it comes up through our spine. Now, if our neck is blocked, which is our mouth of God, which is at this energy gate here, right at the base of our skull, if we've got a lot of tension and tightness around here, this energy has nowhere to go. So it's coming up here, it's blocked, and we're getting these terrible tremors. Okay, so there's a lot of things at play here. So some of the things that I've asked him to do is to practice the breath retention. We're going to breathe in and hold our breath. That's the first thing. That stops it dead in its tracks. Stop this. Stop the Mula Bandha. Stop tensing our pelvic floor muscles, because it's acting as a pump. And the other thing that I've asked him to do is to just get out every day and walk in nature and just burn off some of this energy, because anybody who's Kundalini awakened will know that you have this huge, like, nuclear power station worth of energy in your body, and you need to try and burn some of it off. So that's the other thing. And so these are the things that this guy's going to be doing, and so far it's working, and you know, this is really life-changing stuff. So off the back of that, I had another request for somebody else that was in trouble, and this guy, he's got this Kundalini energy in the base of his spine, and it's not going any further. So this is going to be a work in progress for me. So I'm trying to take some logical steps with this, and I've recommended him to get into some OMS chanting, because the OMS chanting goes in 3 stages. It's Ah, which is your base, your sacral and your solar plexus, the O or the U, which is your heart and your throat, and the which is the third eye. So if we can do 30 minutes a day of chanting, we can start to activate all our chakras. Let's face it, they're endocrine glands, right? So I'm a nuts and bolts kind of girl, so we get into the basics of it. We're stimulating our endocrine glands, we're you know, which are our energy centers, and we're draining our endocrine glands, and we're waking them all up. We're getting rid of all the stagnant fluid around them, all the cerebral fluid that's stagnant around our brain. We're draining it, which is what's going to happen with the OMS chanting. So this is what I've recommended him to start with, and just some gentle breath work, so just to try and relax the body, because the guy's in a lot of pain. So to get you into the parasympathetic mode, and this is great for panic attacks as well, we are going to breathe in through our nose for 2 and breathe out for 4. Breathe in, nice circular pattern of breath, out for 4. Only do this when you're in a place where you can relax. If you want to take it up a gear, we can go in for 4 and out for 8. But when we're going out for 8, we're going to come in for 4 and out for 8, like we're blowing through a straw. So at bedtime, if we want to switch straight into the parasympathetic, the rest and digest mode, we can use these techniques, and it's going to stop this stress response in our body. So this is my top tip today for a troublesome Kundalini awakening. It's work in progress, and you know, with these guys, I'm going to be working with them, and we're going to be trying different things. So if something doesn't work, we're going to try something else. Something else that was brought to my attention today was, if you're in a Kundalini awakening, don't be having your bare feet on a cold floor, because you're taking in this chi, Mother Earth energy, and which is exacerbating it and making it even worse. So if you're in this huge state of energy flow, and you know it's affecting your body, then the last thing you want to be doing is drawing up more energy through the earth. So these are my tips today. Reach out to me if there's anything I can do to help, and have a blessed day.